Welcome everyone to my overview on assignment 7043, in which you will be creating job application materials. Okay, so as you can see, we're in our course Moodle. And 7043 is actually broken up into 3 parts that you'll be submitting different documentation for. All right, so this assignment is under week 3. We will both begin and complete assignment 7043 during this week. Okay. So you can click on any of these links here in the opening to get you into the wiki. They'll all take you to the same page. It's just that each one will take you to a different point on that page. So if you click on any of them, this is the page that will pop up. Depending on if you click A, B, or C, it may start you here, or here, or here. Okay. So as you can see, this is our email from our pretend boss, Alex Nostrovia, assigning us to do this. And basically what we learned from this pretend email is that we have been commissioned by a client to create examples of job application materials for a training workshop. Okay, so you've been tasked with creating materials following the same steps that the trainees would be following, and the steps are right here. Okay, so I'm going to break down each part of the assignment in this overview, and to learn more about completing each part, check out my other videos. So part A, actually it's really difficult to explain part A and B until we've explained part C, so I'm going to start there. Part C is where you will submit your resume and your job application letter and a copy of an advertisement for a job that these materials are catered towards. So you shouldn't just submit your general resume and cover letter. You should pick out a job ad for a job that is open, preferably now, and that you are qualified for now. And then tailor your resume and job application letter for that. So notice that for most of these videos, I will not be calling your cover letters. I will be calling them job application letters. And that's because cover letter is a broad category of letter. There are many kinds of cover letters. Basically, the definition of one is just a letter that covers other materials. A job application letter is a specific subtype of cover letters. So you may be called to create other kinds of cover letters in this class. So I'm going to be using the more specific job application letter to reference this particular kind of cover letter, okay? Or you may occasionally hear me refer to it as the JAL. Okay, so in part C, you will need to create a targeted resume and a targeted job application letter to a specific job ad. And when you submit part C, it'll be all revised. So that's part C, that's the bulk of what you are creating. Part A, once you complete a draft of your job application letter, you will then need to send that along with a peer response request memo to 2 other students in your class. And I will have an easy guide for that up on Moodle, so you don't need to figure out who Alpha and Omega is. Basically what I will be doing is within your groups, which I will assign to you, you will send your draft and your peer response request memo to 2 other students, and that will be assigned to you. Okay, so you can check out my video on part A to learn more about that process. But basically, what this is a draft of your job application letter, and then a memo in which you request feedback on particular skills that you think you need help with in your job application letter. Pretty straightforward. So you would create one memo that you send to 2 students. Okay, so once that is done, you should then receive 2 peer response request memos from 2 of your classmates. And as part B, you should then draft a peer response reply memo to each of those students who requested your feedback. So you will receive 2 peer response request memos, or 2 peer request memos, and then you will need to, in Part B, respond to those requests for peer review in a memo to each specific student. So you are creating 2 memos in Part B, one for each student who requested your feedback. And then you should submit those to Moodle, but it would also be really helpful that you actually email those back to your classmates. So in both Part A and B, you are turning both of these in to Moodle like a normal assignment, but you are also emailing them to the appropriate classmates so that they can actually get feedback. Okay. And then, as a result of the peer review advice that you receive in the peer response reply memo, you should then revise your resume and job application letter and submit that for final grading to me. Okay, so that's why Part C is explained first. You actually have to begin Part C first, but you won't actually complete it until after the peer review request and peer review reply memos. Okay, so that's basically it. For each of these parts, you should put all of it into one Word document. So Part C, you would have your resume, job application letter, and a copy of the advertisement in one Word document. And then Part A, when you submit that, you should have your draft of your job application letter and your peer response request memo all in one document. And then when you submit Part B, you should have both peer response reply memos that you wrote in one Word document that you'll submit for Part B. Okay? So that's basically it. Make sure that you include a title page for each part, just like we've been doing. All right, so that's what you are creating, and here are the steps that you are supposed to follow. So in this hypothetical situation, these are the steps that the trainees of the training program would be following, and our client wants you to follow the same process as you create the examples that they ordered for the program. All right, so the first thing you should do is select an advertisement for a job that you are qualified for now. And if you want to learn more about that, you can check out my next video. Make sure you make a copy of it because sometimes they disappear. You should then, as a result, research the company, the position, who would be receiving these materials. That will also be part of my next video. Then develop a plan for how you are going to target your resume and job application letter to that job ad. Review the visual design concepts, that's proximity, alignment, contrast, and repetition, and see how you might want to create the visual design of your resume or maybe revamp the visual design of your resume. And I'm also going to have a bunch of examples to show you in another video when we talk about designing your resume. So here are some resume examples in this gallery, but I will also have a bunch in our Moodle site. As a result of your plan in terms of content as well as visual design, you should draft your resume or revise your current one to make it targeted and pretty, and then draft your job application letter as a result of your research and plan, and then make sure that it's revised and edited and client ready. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Probably the most confusing part of this assignment is the peer review request and peer review response memos, but I will have some other videos guiding you through that. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to bring those to our virtual classroom or email me. Good luck.